everyone, to another episode of 2 Alpha News with myself, Manny, and our co-host, Khory.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you, and welcome to the show that the shooting community can use. It's another episode of 2 Alpha News. This is episode 6 now. Episode 6.
Wow. Does not feel like it's already been 6 crazy episodes with you, Alex.
I mean, you called this crazy? We haven't even gotten started yet, brother.
Feels more like 15.
This is not untrue. So, did want to get out there first off and thank everybody for joining us to the 6th installment. If you're in the chat, if you're already in the chat on YouTube or Rumble, make sure to throw it in there. Let us know you're out there, we will shout you out throughout the show. We will be doing better about reading the chat and making sure that we know you are there. So,
yeah,
we definitely appreciate you, and this is your show as much as it is ours. So. Just quick reminder, you can find us on any social media platform pretty much, right, Khory?
Yeah. Instagram, specifically Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
We're not doing the whole X thing.
My question is, why did they change the name of Twitter?
I have no clue. Because Elon Musk said so.
Then why didn't they call it like Muskie or something? I mean, that would have been an interesting name. If he owns it, he could name it after himself.
Yeah, that's fair. He could name it after himself, but he didn't, and that's too bad.
Yeah. So check out, guys. Go to Facebook and Instagram if you're not following us there. Please do. Hopefully, we'll be doing more giveaways in the future for episodes like we kind of did with Brian Conley. We will be able to do random prizes through random answers, I guess. I mean, that kind of seems fun. It means you really got to watch the show, pay attention, and be interactive with us.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll be doing giveaways, I think, via on the show live and post-show if you answer the right question. I was really surprised. Our good friend Ken Lane out of Happenstance waited all the way through Friday and won because nobody, I don't know if it didn't get out to the people or what, but he won a pair of Active Blues and is very excited because I got notice that he should have them before Saturday.
Awesome. So you guys are, I know he's got some family stuff going on Saturday, but you guys are coming down to the Nationals after party this weekend on Sunday.
Yes, the plan is Sunday, long as weather holds out.
What? I didn't hear anything about weather. There's no weather.
There shouldn't be. I've been checking the radar vigorously for Sunday. Sunday looks pretty good. I just got to convince the car buddies to see what I'm seeing because we all use different weather apps, and sometimes they're not as conducive to showing you the same results. Oh, look, it's my actual sister on YouTube, my little sister, Katie. Thank you for watching. No, you can't win anything right now because I don't have anything to give away. But thanks, sis, for checking out. Yeah, so that's going to be cool. But yeah, so we're planning on Sunday. We'll talk more about the after party when we get farther into the show. But Khory, you went to Nationals. You worked Nationals. We need to talk about that.
I am still recovering from Nationals actively.
So let's first off, let's talk about the match for you. Your shooting. We'll talk about that. How was your match?
Terrible.
Why?
Well, I'm a PCC shooter, and I shot a handgun.
I mean, this is true. You did shoot a handgun.
Enough.
I mean, yes, but don't like.
I mean, Alex, I shot 38.3%.
But Max Leograndis is a grandmaster. It's okay.
I'm an A shooter
with a rifle.
I'm a master with a rifle. I'm an A in everything else because of that. My time, in comparison, I shot for 588 seconds.
Yeah.
And I still ended up with 11 no-shoots and 8 mics.
Is it that height over bore thing?
No, it wasn't even. It was the far targets, not the close targets.
I still remember. You beat Lee Cabana.
Woohoo.
Oh, that's surprising. I didn't know. Did Hempel not finish? Hempel must have not finished the match then.
I mean, in comparison, Max shot the match in 284 seconds. Max could have shot the match twice in the time that I shot the match once, almost.
Yes, this is true. So I did find out Matt Hempel did not finish. He did not shoot zone 1. So, although he shot, looks like maybe, wow, that looks terrible. He had some weird scores in there. because there's like on stage 2 there's like 5 alphas and that's it.
Well,
So
we might have had a gun malfunction or something like that.
no, but like none, like a couple of them have it, but there's no mics, there's no FTSAs on those stages. It's like it's weird. I don't. You're a stats guy. Does that make any sense though?
Matt Hempel. I'm looking for his name here. Matt Hempel.
Dude, at the very bottom. He's lower than you because he didn't finish the match.
I gotcha.
Or Matthew Hempel's his full name on there. So as anyone knows, Khory is our resident stats guy in Area 5. You know what's surprising? You're gonna not be real. You know, you're gonna help with stats, but you're going on to better things this year, buddy.
Yeah, I'm upwards and onwards.
The lowly staff, the lowly stats guy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the match, besides being far targets and you not normally shooting a pistol, what'd you think of the match?
It was a challenging match. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It was a tough match. Now, a really fun match, and I thought it was a great match. Now, I'm a little biased. I was also helping put the match on the ground, so made sure that everything went off without a hitch. So, but it was a challenging match. I know our friend Walt definitely got to have his tight shots and wall hits and everything. So
Yeah. So before we move on, how do you feel about that? All your walls got shot up.
um, it's definitely going to take some therapy to make sure that we can recover from that. Dan,
Just think about all the extra work now you've got to do to replace and fix
oh,
walls.
I didn't need you to remind me of that.
It's okay. Pick a springtime and we'll come down and help you rebuild walls.
I'm committing all three of you to that.
That's fine. I mean, you at least me and Ken. I don't know about Wes. He's
Nope. You said we will. I said okay. Sounds good. All three of you.
well, I guess that works. That's fair enough. So yes, lots of tight shots by walls. Would you have done that?
Would I have done the tight walls? No.
Yeah.
Nope. I would not have. But it wasn't my match to set up, so I didn't get to choose.
Yep.
Now, I will say that I did not eat any of my own walls. I only ate my own no-shoots. 11 of them.
11 no-shoots. That's
11 no-shoots, yep. The first day I was going for one no-shoot per stage. And then the second day I really cleaned it up.
Well, that's good. At least you were able to clean it up respectively. And that's the worst part, I think, about being as a staff member shooting the match, is you're shooting 21, 22 stages in 2 days.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
No. And the first day it was hot. It was hot the first day.
Just hot or hot and muggy?
No, it wasn't too muggy. It was just hot. I mean, it was hot.
And then by the time of the end of the match, you're freezing your butt off with coats and jackets and hats.
Yeah, on Wednesday, I think it was a high of 82 or 83 degrees, so that's rough. And then by the time Sunday rolled around, it was a high of 50. Low that morning was probably a low of, I don't know, 38, 39.
Oof, yeah, that's a big swing right there.
Yeah, so definitely not the most fun match to work, but definitely a good one. Good one to shoot, good one to work.
Yep. Looks like we've got a comment. It's Daniel God is my judge hopping up on YouTube. Thank you, Daniel, for hopping in. The news is Nationals was in Ohio last weekend, and everyone seemed to enjoy the match for the most part, other than the difficulty. It seemed like it ran well. I didn't hear any bitching about on the internet of, this doesn't flow right or we're waiting all this time.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It was interesting. Dan sent me a text the other day. He said, I'm looking for it here, if I can find it.
Mm-hmm. Well, while you're looking that up, Rick Powers says, my boy Wes is not afraid of work. He will come help. He will come help if he's got the time available.
Yeah.
Wes is sometimes can be very busy or come into tight deadlines. So he will be there when he can be. He's my boy. He's part of Team FML, Team Fluffy, Manny Lucky. He's a good dude. I appreciate hanging out on the range with him. So
yeah. Speaking of the Mr. Rick Powers, I saw him at the match. He was not shooting, although I think he did shoot one gun, and it may have been a gun he purchased. I will leave it at that. If Rick wants to add in the comments what he purchased, he is more than welcome to.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Rick, on how many fingers are dollars?
So Dan Post sent me this earlier this week. He said this year's Iron Sight plus Limited Optics Nationals was under 450 rounds, just under, consisting of over 10 targets at 30 plus yards. Furthest was 35. 50 targets, 20 plus yards, with a majority at 25. Over 80 partial targets, many of them being tight turtle headshots, tuxedos, and half black turtle targets. 10 movers, unless you count the visual start, then you add 9 more. Keep in mind the visual start was 3 targets times 3 strings.
Mm-hmm.
Over 40 mini poppers and not a single big popper. 75 targets between 15 and 20 yards, and roughly 75 targets inside of 12, of which only 15 of them were wide open targets that let you move while shooting with little to no risk. So, the conversation that we had was it was a pretty well balanced match. It was not testing anybody overly on distance targets. It was not testing anybody overly on close up targets. I think it was a pretty well balanced, well rounded match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was said. I talked to a couple shooters. They didn't get out of there less than 500 rounds, but they sent a lot of makeups. But when you're not confident in your sight pictures, you might as well take a makeup because that
Yeah,
mic is going to hurt you more than sending another .5 split at 25 yards, right?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I was surprised. So I know his numbers didn't reflect this, but do you know how many poppers were forward falling instead of rearward falling?
Less than 5 were forward falling.
All the activators were forward falling.
Not even all the activators were forward falling. I think there may have been 1 or 2 that were forward
Hmm.
falling. Those were both activators, but everything else was rearward.
Hmm. Oh, well, that's interesting. I always do I personally like the mix up between like a forward faller next to like a rearward faller,
Mm-hmm.
purely for the fact is that there's that time difference
Oh, it
and
makes you think.
hmm?
It makes you think.
Right. Well, the time and it's just like, is it going down?
Right.
Because it's that delay. It's like, oh shit, did I miss? But
Yeah. I completely agree with you, and I like a good forward faller as well. Um, but I think the challenge that we were concerned about was that rearward fallers are a little bit more consistent
hmm
as far as when and how they fall. So I was on a stage with a popper. We had 0 calibrations. In fact, we had 0 times where the popper was hit and it failed to fall. Even if you hit it super low, it would fall.
right, and that's the benefit of a rearward falling popper
Right.
is if you pretty much can hit it and it goes down. Now, did you guys rectify the issues? Did you put all your poppers on like wooden bases?
No, we've got these. We've got like a what we call a shepherd hook, which
hmm
is a maybe 18-inch long piece of rebar with a hook on the top of it,
hmm
and we as long as we put 2 to 3 of those on each target stand, they pretty much are locked into place on the ground.
On the popper stand, you mean? Okay, so are you able to bang that down with the Corey Shield hammer a bit?
No, we've got to use a different hammer bit for that, but it's not the end of the world.
But you don't have to hammer it by hand.
No.
Okay, good. That's good. So, let's see. I had a couple notes in the show notes about okay, oh, speaking of it didn't rain during the match.
No. Well, I shouldn't. That's not exactly true. It rained for maybe a total of 10 or 15 minutes on Saturday.
Mhm.
In fact, we had an interesting bay where we were being fed by. We were in Zone 2A, and
Mhm.
Zone 2A was much shorter than Zone 2B.
Mhm.
So we had about a 15 to 20 minute waiting for the squad to come, and then we were constantly early throughout the match. So what we did was we just waited until the rain stopped, which because I was looking at the radar, it was going to be a short-lived rainfall. We had our targets bagged while the rain was raining, and then we unbagged them as soon as the rain stopped, and no competitors shot in bags at all the whole match.
Well, that's good.
On any base, not just ours.
No, that is good. Now, that's interesting because the visual fixed time stage probably went pretty quick because they're able to burn 4 shooters.
4 shooters at the same time, yeah.
So that's pretty nice because you can burn the squad in what
12 minutes.
12 minutes. That's that's spicy of a like, but you're also shooting 4 shooters at once.
Right. So the challenge was we were being fed by that turning target stage. So
Hmm.
we always had someone backing us up.
Right. And that's just how it's going to be, right? Even
Right.
with the travel time from that bay to that bay.
Yeah. So I mean, if we would have had only three competitors shoot it, I think we probably would have been relatively even. And two competitors, we definitely would have had time to sit and wait.
Gotcha. So we talked a little bit about batch flow. Other than you being backed up, due to how it works, right? You're always going to have a little bit of a
Yeah, it
backup.
wasn't a big deal.
Oh, look at someone's deciding. Brian Conley, why are you not on Rumble, bro?
We are on Rumble, Brian.
No, Brian, he's calling me.
Oh,
I don't know why he's calling me. He should be on Rumble, or I don't know. We'll figure that out.
answer it.
I'm not gonna answer it. He's probably hanging out with Luigi.
He
He'll
is.
leave me. He'll, yeah, but so match flow, it didn't seem nothing was really backed up. It seemed like the schedule worked well. Um, Stages. We looked at the matchbook a couple weeks ago with you. What'd you think of the stages?
The stages, like I said, the stages were challenging, but I think there was a good mix of everything in there.
Hmm.
Now, the only thing that we didn't have. So there's two things we didn't have. There was nothing. There was nothing to burn down really. There was I guess a couple stages that are going to be classifiers that were a little bit more of a speed shoot, but it was all movement. There was only one. There were two stand and shoot stages. One was just a bill drill. It was 6 rounds. If you got a perfect score on that, you got a free T-shirt.
Hmm.
And then the other one was the turning target stage.
Gotcha. Well,
Brian's driving home from IDPA Worlds.
and look, he's on Rumble, and I can see his little Rumble icon, so that's how he knows. We know that works now. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it does work. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah. But yeah. What'd you think? Speaking of that, what did you think of the bill drill that go right into an unloaded start stage?
I thought it was fine. It was a little hokey, I think, but I mean, I understood why they were doing it, and I understood why they did it the way they did.
Hmm.
So it was just really to appease a sponsor, really.
Right. Well, here's another question. Did you notice? Well, you didn't work the stage, but on your staff squad, I'm assuming people did two make readies.
Yeah, but I
So
mean, we had no GMs. We had no GM
make readies.
make readies on our
Well,
staff.
how I call these are D class GM make readies
Well,
because
yeah,
it's usually the guy who's absolutely unprepared doing those kind of make readies. You said you had no pops issues, like because you had a popper, no issues there, so that was
yeah,
good.
we had one of the magic wall bobbers. So and on our squad, or
I
on our stage, and there was no issue there.
gotcha. I also heard from a couple people that a lot of staff backed out.
Yeah, I think we did. We probably had a total of roughly maybe 10 people that backed out.
Hmm.
So it's a challenge. Like there was a couple people that were like, I was told, oh, those they might not show, and
Hmm.
it wasn't because they called and let us know, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. It was because they're known for not showing up situation.
Mm.
So, and my question is always, why are we bringing them to national? Why are they being invited to nationals?
Or why are they being in the head count to nationals? Right, like
No, no. Why are they being like? Why are we accepting their application to nationals? If we know they're not going to show, why are we accepting their application?
that's a great question. If I was in charge of staff, those and I had the list of people who do that all the time, I shame once sure I know that hey, something comes up, can't make it, right,
Yeah.
but at least a phone call, an email, something letting me know you're not coming.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
if you know show no call at work, you're done.
actually I can get two of those at work if I really care due to our policy.
Okay. Well, union shop, I'm just
No,
kidding.
not even union shop, just some shitty policies that work in the
Right.
favor of the employees. But yeah, no, I wouldn't find that acceptable either. And especially at nationals. Sure, like shame on the match director for putting them in if it's like a level 2, level 3 match and they don't know. But
Right.
this is nationals. You need everybody to be there.
Yep. Yep.
So our buddy Dan, he was what, the range master of 2A or 2B?
To be.
To be or not to be? That
It
was
was
his
to be.
question.
It was not the question. It was pretty definite. He was in to be.
So 2B was what, 10, 11, and 12?
11, 12, and 13.
Okay.
So the first three bays in the dirt zone, like range 4.
Gotcha. That's nice. Big long stages. Dan
Yeah.
can sit there in his golf cart.
I mean, Dan had 3. He had to take care of 3 stages. Actually, one situation on our stage he ended up taking care of, which resulted in an arbitration and a DQ being overturned.
Okay, I'm all right. Hang on. So the RMs were Dan Click,
Mm-hmm.
Dan Bernard,
Yep.
Jody Human. No,
No, Matt Waite
don't know
and
Matt.
um, and Kevin Immel.
Oh, and Kevin. Okay.
So
So
Kevin was my zone RM, and he was busy doing something else. So Dan came over. Dan was kind of the guy that was designated because Kevin and Dan only had 3 bays each.
mhm,
So Kevin and Dan were designated as kind of floaters for each zone,
mhm,
so they could take care of their bays plus any other calls if the other range masters were busy.
right.
Dan just happened to be in the back of the bay when we called for range master,
Mhm.
and he showed up to take care of the call, and it was an interesting situation.
Are you permitted to talk about it?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the arbitration was posted at national, like has to be posted, so I guess that's not really a faux pas.
Right.
Brian says he'll see you on Sunday.
So before we get into this, Brian Dawson, my buddy, shooting at Infinity, awesome veterinarian in Northern Michigan. We'll see. That match is actually our backup plan if we don't go to Ohio due to weather.
So in other words, Brian, he will not see you on Sunday.
It depends on the car companions. Yes.
Lame.
We signed up just because it was the only other match in the state, and we're like, well, sign up for something now, and if we don't go, we don't go. But
So arbitration. Here's the situation:
okay.
had a shooter, revolver shooter, takes the last 2 shots on our stage,
Hmm.
drops his moon clip into his hand, and holds the gun up
Hmm.
with the cylinder open. Holds the gun up.
Like
Range officer, wasn't me, says, if you're finished, unload and show clear. He's with his cylinder open, his gun's up.
hmm.
Range officer says, if clear, cylinder closed, holster. During that or after that, the competitor takes a moon clip off his belt, puts it in his gun, and shoots 2 more rounds. So the RO, the CRO, the RO looks at me and says, "Did I just see that?" And I said, "Yes, you did." And he says, "Okay, sounds good." Hands me the tablet and says, "Go score these. I need to call the range master." Because he shot basically it was a discharge after.
Right, because the course of fire was ended with if clear, hammer down, holster.
Well, if clear, hammer down, holster. As soon as you say holster, you can't shoot anymore.
Right.
So, right, exactly. The course of fire had ended with holster.
Hmm.
So, anyway, long story short, he arbitrated it. The CRO was not 100% definite whether or not he said holster before the round started going off. So they ended up adding the guy back into the match. Anyway, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm just because of so they arbitrated it,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't arbitrate. So they arbitrated the range commands.
They arbitrated special circumstances.
Okay, so that's the rule they cited.
Yeah.
Because for people who don't know in the shooting sports, you in USPSA to arbitrate, you can't arbitrate a DQ for one. But through special circumstances, I guess you can because of it, because they didn't actually arbitrate that. So
Yeah, it was an interesting situation.
hey, you're gonna see the interesting things at nationals, and guess what? He got to keep his $100, right?
Yep.
Now,
Yes.
was he? The question was he a good revolver shooter?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't like a big good rules lawyer who know what they were doing. So that's kind of interesting. Cool. So as a guy who helped put the match on the ground at your home club, because Cardinal Shooting Center is your home club, would you have done anything differently at this match if
I
you
mean,
were in charge of it?
there's always things that I would do differently. I think it's still too soon to give specifics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I probably wouldn't have made the match as hard as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I probably would have made certain stages more challenging, but I would like to have seen a more well-rounded match where there were some stages that were just plain easy, and then there's some stages that were a little bit more challenging.
Right now, there we go. But no, yes, I probably would say something right off the rip would be less tight shots with walls.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's an easy one. That I think there's a ton of hardcover used, so I
Mm-hmm.
probably wouldn't have used as much hardcover if I had the choice.
So Nationals is sponsored. The target sponsor is CHL.
Yeah, I don't
Did they
know.
use did they use pre-painted hardcover?
Yeah, so we did use pre-painted hardcover, and we were very intentional with what targets we put out where.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy, along with 3 or 4 other people, took probably a half a day during setup and went and sorted the hardcover targets. And when I say sorted, I mean they took and basically said, "Oh, this one is off. Like this tuxedo has the paint to the edges. This tuxedo has the paint just outside the edges. This tuxedo has the paint inside the lines." And they sorted all those out and were able to say, okay, all these tuxedos are very, 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 very similar.
Mm-hmm.
All these are going to go on one stage, and so on and so forth.
Right. So they did their due diligence to make sure that the targets were competitively equitable.
Correct.
Good. That at least somebody did that job because that's what I was always wondering with the pre-made targets. You're always going to have a little bit of inconsistency due to putting ink on them. So
Yep.
I guess Brian, I am sorry that I cannot guarantee if I will be in Detroit this weekend.
Brian, you can come to Cardinal and chase him to Cardinal.
That would be a very long drive. He lives in like northern Michigan, so come down on Friday, I guess, and be there. And
Come down to Alex's house, and Alex will drive you the rest of the way.
we do have room in Ken's truck if we go. So that because we're taking Ken's truck. I guess I want to talk. We'll talk about predictions, I guess, in a bit. How wrong we were, but I do want to cover the winners. So we're gonna switch to this slide. You should all be able to hear us. We're just hidden behind the screen. But go ahead and read off the limited top five.
We had Scott Brown, first place, Joey Sauerland in second, John Browning third, Shane Coley, and followed by Johnny Giordano.
So I'm going to talk about this. I didn't feel, last year National Scott did not shoot on the Super Squad, came out of nowhere. I'm very impressed that the young man destroyed I wouldn't say he destroyed. He performed very well on the Super Squad for his first match on the Super Squad, and won. A lot of people get eaten up by the pressure. Gianni has said it time and time again. Being on a Super Squad can be shattering of your match.
I mean, he won pretty handily.
He
He
was a little less than 4%.
So it was a little bit. It was just a hair less than 4%. He won.
Well, here, I will do
He
this.
shot 92.8% of the shot of points possible. He also shot it about 10, almost 10 seconds faster, just over 10 seconds faster than Joey.
Right. Well, in this, I've said this about Joey when he shot against Gianni at Area 1. I want to say it was Area 1 that was it Area 1 or Area 3? Area 3. I'm sorry. Johnny has that capability of turning on the gas. Joey has a speed, but Gianni has like a speed of an open shooter.
Yeah, I think one other thing that I would say, and I'm kind of doing some what if analysis here, but
I want to know what Joey would have been if he didn't zero that stage. He would have had 30 more.
that stage was only worth 1.4%. of the match.
No, but he wouldn't have won the match if he'd done better on it. But he wouldn't have gotten. You know what I mean? This wouldn't have been so far, right? But
Yeah,
Scott,
I guess.
mhm. But Scott did his job. He shot. You know, he only had 4 no penalty mics, so that was very impressive on that
Well,
part.
I think that's where I think that's actually where the
The loss came from.
loss came from. Because if Joey had hypothetically, if Joey had 6 more alphas, that would have been 30 points,
Hmm.
and he would have now been he would have been roughly 1960, which
Yep.
that would have put him within 30 points. So I think if you're going into the last day saying, "Man, I don't have a chance," you're not going to give it your all. You're just gonna shoot well enough to beat John Brown.
Right. So he
And,
had say
and
he had 6 more alphas on that stage and 1 less mic. He could
right,
have
so if
had the
you would have had
match.
6 more alphas and 1 less Mike, he would have been within 20 points, 15 points of Scott Brown.
Hmm. That would have really been putting some pressure on there.
Right, so that would have been putting more pressure on Scott because Scott walked into the last day saying, "It's mine to lose."
Correct.
Joey was pretty much saying, "It's mine to get second place in."
Yep. But
So
looking at that, Travis Tomasi coming in third. Well, I'm sorry, in seventh, for Team MPA, as
well,
their second. Hmm?
they totally. I mean, Team MPA. If you want to look at it that way, Team MPA totally killed Limited.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
And
Uh,
2 out of the top 10 is pretty unheard of.
right. I did have some special mentions I needed to make. Last week's show, when I was with my buddy Brian Levy, we talked about Mr. Jonathan Miller from Texas. He came in ninth, first master. So that was impressive. Um, you know, that was very cool. Justin Larkin out of Alaska. I don't know if you've known him or not, but he's a limited shooter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sean Hines.
Well, David Thursby, in 12th, he actually worked at the match's staff and shot at his staff. So it's pretty impressive that a staff member is pulling top 15.
Right. My buddy Joey Zadek coming in 17th. Manny Bragg in 23rd. Our friend, the ladies winner. I can't forget the ladies winner, Jalise Williams. I forget to add them to that slide, but I can't go
Yeah,
back and
pretty
fix it.
notable too. Jalise was the only Williams sister that won a national championship this match.
Right.
So I very impressive, obviously for anyone to shoot, for Jalise, but um,
Shot minor again and won.
shot minor again and won, and it's obviously we'll get on to the next division.
Yep. Our friend Rangemaster Candice Giuliano coming in second lady,
Mm-hmm.
shooting staff. So that was impressive.
And then Michaela Hill as third.
Yes. Yes. Yes, she did. We've got a comment here. Rick Power says, Team MPA. I placed my order for MPA on Friday of Nationals. I will shoot your gun now, Rick. Just let me borrow it for a while. Speaking of that, we are going to move on to the limited optics division.
We skipped
Mr.
one.
No, there's
Yeah.
your own order.
Limited 10.
Oh no, there's 3 people. They don't count. There is 3 people limited 10. That division is dead. I'm sorry. That is the news. I do need to say Mr. Nick Walden came in 5th. Before him in 4th was my buddy Tom Castro.
Shooting an
Trace,
MPA gun.
yes, he was shooting a DS9 hybrid. The man from Kentucky, Trace Decker, in 3rd. Mr. Casey, I shoot all the Charlies, Eusebio, coming in 2nd, and your national limited optics provisional champion, Max PCSL Leograndis.
He did shoot all the Charlies too. I mean, that's
That's yes,
like he shot 50 more Charlies, 52 more Charlies than Max did.
yes, yes. He gave the point. He gave like the time. Casey had almost over 10 seconds of time on him. Shot 2% less of possible points, but Max cleaned up with accuracy.
There, yeah, and it just shows that these were truly accuracy-based stages. So
Yes, yes, they were. After talking to what's up, Chris? Chris from the 740, our Ohio friend. I'm surprised Chris didn't come down and take video
Yeah. Well,
or
so
hang out with his buddies because I know that what Greg, no, God, what Gene from the real.
Sheen was shooting, and then Chris Baker was also working the match.
Yep, Chris is a good dude. I like hanging out with Chris. Um, but yeah, so it was yeah, but first national champion for a voodoo priest with Max Leograndis. Trace Decker shot a carry optics gun. I don't think he put a magwell on his gun. Nick Walden, I'm assuming, did the same thing. But Tom Castro shot an MPA. Andrew Hyder came in 7th for an honorable mention from Team
Yeah.
MPA after injuring himself before the match.
Yes, he sliced his thumb open with a knife at the camper.
His brand new camper. Greg Clement, Team MPA as well, coming in 11th. And my buddy Eric Rangepander Steiner. Yeah, it sounds like I was rapping out. Steiner. Range Panda coming in 13th, just shy of a super squad placement. So from Mark Hillegas to Max Legrandis, they will be hopefully most of them will be your limited optics super squad next year.
Yep.
It was very hard to track scores because of people in different zones, different times,
For
shooting
sure.
different. It was hard. So
Another notable mention: Isaac Lockwood coming in 17th. He also won the Bill Drill Challenge again, and I believe he got like $5,000 from Colt for winning the Bill Drill Challenge, from what I heard.
Rick Powers wants us to say shout out to Gene Ashwood YouTube channel. Reloading from the hot pot. I've shot with him at the September match. He's always good to see. It's always nice to see those guys who do the YouTube thing come out and shoot USPSA because
Sure.
it's always fun. Let's see. So Isaac shot the Bill Drill side match. Where did they have that anyway?
They had that in the in range 3, which is the turning target range. They
They
ended up
did.
taking down part of the turning target range over lunch on Sunday and putting it back up.
Oh, okay. Well, what the nice thing is, all they did do was pull the sticks, right?
Not even the sticks. They were like turning target hangers. It was weird.
Gotcha. But so yeah, so he won. Who did he have to be? Who did he have to shoot off against?
I don't know.
Because I know Billy Barton wasn't there, and he was the carry optics ringer.
Yeah.
So, but Isaac won $5,000, so that's good to him. I heard Todd Jarrett got hurt on one of the.
Yeah, he fell and sliced his hand open.
That's unfortunate. Jesse Harrison, the ladies' national champion, coming in 27th overall in limited optics at 79.89%, beating Schmitty and a whole bunch of other dudes. Our buddy Drew Maruski was there, coming in 37th.
Yeah, Gary Spakowski, local Ohio shooter, coming in 33rd.
Yep. Robert Frania coming in 40th, right behind Justine Williams and Rick Bishop of ladies number 2. So this was a close race between I can't say close, but 79 to 73, a 6% difference. I'll be interesting to hear what Justine or Jesse say about this match. I know Jesse didn't like coming back. Neither of these ladies came back to Area 5 this year after 2022, so I'm kind of interesting to hear their opinions of this match, because this match seemed to, when talking to my buddy Ken, is that people compared this to 2022 Area 5. So
Yeah. Well, Ken was comparing it to 2022 Area 5. I don't know, but I don't think anybody else was.
when he did talk to Casey, and Casey mentioned it. So
Of course. Casey would mention it when Ken is asking him, "Oh, what'd you think of it in comparison to 2022 Area 5?"
I mean,
I'm just
but would he? I know. I see the live chats blowing up over here. Daniel and Chris are chit chatting, so I appreciate you guys being over there. We're gonna move to the next division.
Open.
And no, we'll cover that at the end. Production.
Oh, take all the fun out of everything.
Yeah, I know.
So, number 5, we had Casey Reed. 4th, we had Mason Lane. 3rd, we had Brian Giovanni. 2nd, JJ Ricazza. He finally was able to finish a match. And 1st, we had the Nils Jonasson.
The athletic giraffe. Nils handedly defeated the field.
Just over 4%.
Yep. I remember someone JJ's making a comment to somebody and says, I'm here just having fun now because he knew he couldn't bring it in. But nothing against them. Nils shot really well. Only had, only 3 mics for the match. That's saying something. I did do the math, so don't feel he could not have won limited this year if I put him as limited minor. He couldn't have done it. But he also was shooting 10 rounds, so there's probably some time difference here that
For
would
sure.
be different. So you can't, not apples to apples.
So here's the
Um,
question: could he have won limited 10?
oh, that's easy because nobody who shot limited 10 was actually good.
So a couple notable mentions: seventh, Phil Strader.
Yes, because Brian thinks Phil is like trash. Phil is actually good at
Yeah.
production.
Austin Hull in ninth.
Russell Maskey, I think he's an Ohio guy.
Yeah, name sounds familiar. Michael Shotalov, Matt Nash, Luke Frost.
Who else? Fudge. There was some. Tyler Turner coming in sixth. I mean, we kind of skipped past him to go straight to Phil, but a guy who really hasn't been active. He was not on the super squad, and he beat people on the super squad. So that was
And then,
always.
of course, top lady Ashley Robertson, formerly Rourke.
Mm-hmm.
So, congratulations to her as well. She definitely
SmackDown.
could have put a good win on the board. With second place being Devin and third place being Kaylee Lane.
So yeah,
Devin McManus.
So this was her first national shooting as a shooter.
It
Not
was.
as
I
not
talked
as
about that. She said she really enjoyed just getting out there and being able to shoot.
Yeah. Now, I've got my opinions of working nationals. I just don't necessarily know if you really want to be serious about your shooting. I don't necessarily know if shooting nationals as staff is
Oh, for sure. Like
the
that's
answer,
100%.
especially when you're shooting 22 stages in 2 days.
I mean, so here's the question:
Mm-hmm.
22 stages in 2 days. That's like shooting two majors back to back. It's 11 stages a day.
Yep.
It's like shooting um, two state matches back to back or two sectionals back to back. On the other hand, shooting it normally is like shooting 3 club matches back to back to back. So if you're used to it, if you're used to shooting a lot, I'm not sure it's that big of a difference. Other than you're also ROing yourself.
That's the
I mean,
biggest thing is you've got to think about is you're running shooters. You're not just focusing on your stage plan. You got to pace you always got to pace targets, but you have to run shooters and the like. So that's where I think it really makes a difference. Because yes, I do see your point on it's just 2 level 2s in 2 days, which most people are crazy if they like doing that. But
I mean, it happens. I know plenty of people that'll go from one level 2, drive all night, and and shoot the next level 2 the next day.
mm-hmm.
Or they'll shoot Friday and Sunday, 2 different level 2s in 2 different states.
Right. Well, at least that's a little better because then you at least still get time to walk the stages prior. Let's see. We will move on to Revolver. Leading in first, the undisputed, undeniable. I lost that word, but anyway, it's Michael Poggi. Everyone voted for Poggi in this match, and Poggi took it and beat the rest of them with his cylinder. It seemed like he told them, "This is my match. You cannot have any of my cake."
By over 5%.
Oh yeah, he did. Coming in second, that 5% loss to James McGinty. Rich Wolf, hit about another 4, 5, 6% down from there. Alex Bakken in fourth, who had a close race against Mr. Wolf, and Jay Elo Slater coming in fifth. I predicted that Jay would come in fifth though, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so I a couple other notable mentions. You had First Lady Senior, Super Senior, as Janice Nolte.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple other honorable mentions. We had Mike Shaw in 12th. He's a local 2 Cardinal.
Mm-hmm. Does he always shoot revolver?
He almost always shoots revolver. Kevin Immel as 26th. He was one of the range masters. So John Cottrell, he's the 4 guy with Russell. If you're on social media, you know what I'm talking about.
I guess I don't. I probably know what you mean, but I guess it's going over my head.
Well,
We can't forget to talk about Garen Singleton, second match in Revolver, coming in seventh.
first match in Revolver.
No, he shot a local.
Oh,
So first major match at Nationals with a revolver. So
maybe I could. Maybe I should have done that. That would have been fun.
do you really want to make yourself cry?
Do you think maybe? I mean, I would have.
Did you know how to open a cylinder with your left hand?
Yeah, I'm left-handed. Never mind.
Sorry, I got to bust your chops at something. We will move on to the wonderful single stack or classic single stack. Go ahead.
Rob Latham in fifth, the old timer, but he's obviously still a great shooter.
The goat.
Jeff Coffin of the Hit Factor podcast in fourth. John Mark 7 Vlieger in third. Caesar in second. He also is known as Robert. Caesar Robert. And then Elias Fergunis in first.
Yeah, so this match, surprising enough, it came down. I was watching the Casual Shooter podcast live stream of the day 3. You know, right as kind of like after lunch, about 2:00, 3:00, he did a live stream, kind of wrapping up the match, kind of seeing where everyone was going to fall. There was a possibility where Tim could have taken 5th or 6th, but on his last stage, the 2 mic that he had dropped him all the way to 9th, losing to Jeremy Reed.
Who's Tim?
Tim the short man Heron?
Oh, the guy that was supposed to be on tonight?
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold him against him.
No.
No, but yep. So Tim coming in 9th. Garrett, I want to say it's Garrett Heinrich, but we call him Beaker, out of the North Carolina, South Carolina area, coming in 10th for a good finish. Randy Rogers, first lady, congratulations. Our buddy Leif Kunkel coming in 17th. Trent Elrich.
John Fancy Pants McLean coming in 18th.
Oh, well, yes, that's that person, but Jonathan McLean, such a boring name. Why isn't his name like Fancy? Really? I'd put it on practice score. Fancy Pants McLean. Just like Adam Maxwell coming in 26th from Vortex. So good shooters all around. I was surprised to see. Okay, so I know how Danny DQ'd. Any idea how Ray DQ'd?
I think 180 is what I heard.
Well, with a lifetime membership number of L485, he's been around the block. It's okay.
Yes, he has. And Daniel Korn, I feel bad for the guy. He DQ'd. It was a rough one.
Yes, he told me about that, and I'm not going to share that one online because that's not my story to tell, but I agree, that definitely sucks. But due diligence must be due diligence, right?
For sure.
So
last but not least, let's go to Open Division.
Yes, let's go. I will pull up the screen share to Open Division. So there's 5 of them. So number 5, John Seraphin, Open Super Senior, shooting, at least he shot major, so at least was shooting limited.
Yes.
Or single stack. We don't know. Stephen Gilbert in 4th.
By the way, John Seraphin is the guy that does all the setup. Like, he is the workhorse behind the setup machine. So thank you so much to John, because he makes all of our lives a lot easier, because he knows exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. And it's just, we do appreciate John.
3rd place, Corey Wolford. 2nd place, Carlos Bicolo. Sorry for botching it. And none other than Team MPA's resident master builder, David Lyle.
Correct.
So if any of you haven't noticed, Brian Conley from Hunters HD Gold, Behind the Lens, did a live stream and asked him why or what happened. He grabbed a 140 with some grip tape on it because he's an open shooter, and 140s don't matter in open. But when you're shooting limited optics nationals, it is very important. Yes. But he handedly defeated the open field. I honestly, do you have competitor up on your phone, Corey?
I do.
I'm wondering what he would have finished on if he was actually in limited optics.
That's a great question. Let me pull that up here. While I'm pulling that up, you want to while I'm pulling that up, would you like to pull up the results from what we thought?
Oh, yes, our prediction results. Yes, I will absolutely pull that up. So I got to stop sharing. Now I got to reshare this. Boom, live stream notes. We are here. Cool. So Our limited predictions. We had myself, Corey Katz, Brian Conley. All had Joey Sauerland in first, and that did not happen. Brian Levy picked Gianni Giordano. That didn't happen either. The only one who got the winner, well, at least second place right, was Brian Levy with Joey Sauerland in second. And the rest of us kind of botched the rest of the predictions. Scott Brown made me eat my words because I said he'd be fifth. Shane Coley, I believe, was in fourth. And, Travis was in seventh. So it was kind of no one was really good at limited. Limited optics. Corey, you were one of the people who were the most right.
Oh, by the way, did you notice? So I know these numbers are outdated from the match, but we had a total of 138 shooters in limited optics that actually shot. 133 in limited. So it was actually a iron sight or an optics match that a couple iron sight shooters shot in.
Yeah. Exactly.
But in limited optics, we had a few of you, or one of us had Hyder as the winner. Brian and I correctly said that Max Leograndis was the winner. Notice Brian and I also correctly said that KC was going to be in second place. And then the rest of the field, we didn't get anywhere close. So Brian was right, kind of. Brian Conley was right, kind of. Brian Levy was right first and second. I was right first and second. Basically, everybody else was wrong.
Yes, everyone else was wrong. Yeah.
And if you do notice, Tom Castro is not on Brian Conley's list.
That what is true, but Tom Castro came in fourth. So we will move down to, I guess I had single stack in the next order. The only one who was correct of any position was Brian Levy with John Vlieger in second. Not that any of us doubted Tim Herron, but Corey, you didn't even pick other than Rob Latham to win.
Nope.
Because you were extremely wrong. Nothing wrong with Robbie. This match, honestly, with how most nationals are, of the stop, shoot, the efficiencies of Rob Latham kind of hurt here because you got to run and shoot to a position, and his old age definitely does not give him it's almost a detriment to his match. But it's okay. We can feel good about production, right? Right, Corey?
Yeah, I think we can definitely feel good about production. I think we all knew that Nils had it in him to win this one. Obviously, JJ came in second. The rest of us were a little off on the rest of the field, especially Brian Conley saying that Phil Strader was not going to be fifth.
Right. He did not come in fifth, but he did better than Brian Conley actually probably thought he would.
Oh, for sure.
Phil Strader is always in my pocket for production. Revolver we did fairly okay on. I'm going to leave that up there a little bit. Michael Pogge with most of us for first. Rich Wolf in third. Jay Slater in fifth, so I was the most correct in Revolver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of news in Revolver, Jerry Mitchell set new records this weekend at Smith & Wesson's God, what are they called? Grand opening in Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
So that was impressive. That was impressive. Jerry's an excellent shooter, and excuse me. Keep talking as I drink some water.
So Jerry is an excellent shooter. Obviously, his whole family's in shooting. I'm looking up to see if I can get the video.
Yeah, that's some. You look that up. I do have. While you're looking that up, some upcoming news or things I stumbled upon this week or this last couple of days. 2024 is around the corner, guys. So that means the elections for area directors for the 2024 season will be starting soon, and you might have already seen people either having their petitions filled out or getting people to sign their petitions to run for area directors. This year, in 2024, Area 2 and Area 5 are up for election. Corey and I both know our good friend Rick Steele of Area 5 is not going to rerun.
No.
He's done his due diligence. He's done his work.
He's been on the board for, I believe, 8 years. So he's ready to go right off into the sunset.
And I just hope he still works matches like he does, because it's always a good time seeing our friend Rick.
Sure.
But I did get confirmation from there's supposedly 4 people running for Area 5.
Yeah, and Leif has already put out his petition to run. So I
Yep.
mean, I know
But
there's a few people that signed it. I know he just posted on social media that he is asking for people to sign his petition. So, oh, there is a petition right
I've
there.
got 2 signatures on here right now. If we don't go to Ohio, I will. Well, either way, if I go to Ohio, I will have that with me, and I will have that scanned over to Leif.
So,
So I think the more signatures you get, the better. I only know you need 50 to put in your petition, but I think the more the better. But Christopher St. Clair out of Wisconsin already has his petition back to the org. I did get confirmation from himself. Adam Maxwell is running. I don't know the status of his petition. And I also heard a friend of ours, Mr. Bud Conley, is going to run.
it's possible he's thinking about it.
Well,
Not confirmed.
not confirmed, but I heard. I didn't. And then I did get confirmation that John Batista has his petition for Area 2.
Gotcha.
So the area elections are among us. I do not know the intentions or what Layton is going to do, if he's going to rerun or not. So we will see on that.
But while we're at it, let's take a look at Jerry Micklick.
Did you figure out how to screen share this time without adding another screen?
Bitter ready? Stand by.
Twist the Mitchell like a fully in effect. I break a record when I get the revolver.
I'm gonna go back to that 1.88 seconds is what I heard.
Yes, that is correct. If you watch the unedited video, but with this video, the audio, the song is called "Twista Mitchelllick" by my buddy Twista, out of Illinois. He was actually supposed to shoot Handgun Nationals until his ride got sick. So
Yeah, and Tony got sick.
Tony got sick, and I don't blame him for not going. But yes, that song is "Twista Mitchelllick." 8 Shots in a Set. It's a really good song. It's catchy. It's on the Shooter Ready album by Twista. Go check it out. He's actually planning on releasing a new shooter themed album coming soon. I have not heard any of the music, but I heard it's coming soon.
Gotcha.
That's all those songs just get me pumping. They're kind of in my dry fire playlist, to be honest with you. So Khory, we're getting near our hour mark, so we need to kind of get moving towards that. There's a little bit of news. Nationals dates have been released for where they're going to be and when they're at. I did not have that pulled up. Do you have that up by chance, or do you know those off the top?
Hoping I did. I do not have it pulled up.
I have it on my phone. So we've got 5 nationals this year, including World Speed.
And the Multi-Gun Nationals.
Yep, including multi-gun nationals. So in May, end of May, beginning of June, in the World Speed Shooting Championship, presented by Vortex Optics and title sponsor Ruger, is the World Speed Shooting Championship back in CMP. Great location, great time of the year, because it doesn't affect with any other match really.
No, that's the end of May, correct?
Yes, 29th through the 2nd of June.
Yeah, so the first weekend of May is obviously Ohio State Buckeye Blast.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't affect that or anything like that. Cool.
Right. Carry Optics, Sig Sauer, Carry Optics Nationals, presented by Vortex Optics. I don't understand the presented, like if it's the title sponsor and then there's someone presenting it, I don't understand what they mean by that. It just is to get 2 sponsors happy, I guess. At the Cardinal Shooting Center in Marengo, Ohio, June 28th through the 30th. Staff shoot the 26th and the 27th.
Yep.
Is that a USPSA ran match?
That is a USPSA ran match.
Okay. Then we have the Federal Multi-Gun Nationals presented by Vortex Optics, Forest Lake Sportsman's Club. I know this one is contracted.
Yeah.
July 19th through the 31st. Staff shoot 17th and 18th.
And keep in mind, dates that close, like the very, very few people overlap between Carry Optics and Multi-Gun.
Yeah, so end of June and beginning of July. You might have some ROs, but very unlikely.
My guess is the only people they're going to have some people that are traveling straight from one to the other, like Troy.
And
Troy's going to go from one, Troy, Jake, whoever's match management, stuff like that. They'll go from one to the other. Other than that, I don't think you're going to have too much crossover.
Right. Sig Sauer Handgun Nationals presented by Vortex Optics. Limited production, single stack, revolver, and limited optics, and L10. at the CMP Marksmanship Park in Talladega, Alabama, September 13th through the 15th. Staff 11 and 12.
Yep.
And the final Nationals of the year, our favorite divisions.
Open PCC.
Open PCC, Vortex Optics, Open PCC, presented by Federal. CMP Marksmanship Park, Talladega, Alabama. Roll Tide. October 18th through the 20th. Staff 16th and 17th are Nationals dates and locations. I'm putting it out here now, guys. I've got 372 days till Nationals, and I'm going.
Yep.
I don't know if Khory's decided if he's going to be able to do it or not, but
372 days until Nationals, and 360 of them are going to figure out how to go.
Right.
Just kidding.
Well, we'll figure out the dates. We'll figure out the logistics of us actually both going together, I hope.
For sure.
But yeah, so I'm going to Nationals. So we're going to start I'm going to release it now and here. I am starting a new series on the YouTube channel. I'm actually going to make some videos, and this is going to be Manny's Road to Nationals. So it's going to be vlog-esque over longer time periods. So coming up in the beginning of the year, into the year, when we hit 365 days, we're going to start with the beginning of the journey. We're going to talk about it. We're going to vlog about it, kind of like maybe a month apart from the first couple videos, and it's going to get closer and closer into like a true vlog style video. So be excited for that. If
doesn't go to Nationals, they will go to Nationals with Manny on his vlog.
Yes. So yeah, I am working on that content.
That Manny's going to stop by my house, stay at my place, then we're going to drive down to Nationals together.
You know this is on the internet, so I'm taking this as gospel, and you cannot back out of me now.
I said the joke. So we're going to stay down there with in a Airbnb with a couple other people. We're going to hang out all week, and then we're going to drive back on Monday. He's going to stay again at my house on Monday night, and then he's going to drive home on Tuesday.
Yep, that's the plan.
That is what Alex wants to do.
It is what we are going to do.
That is
long as you don't back out on me.
And I'm not planning on backing out, but
all right.
I've got a lot on my plate next year.
This is true, but it'll be worth it. So, as we said, there's only one major match run by USPSA at Cardinal, Carry Optics Nationals, but there are two other big major matches.
Yes, sir.
We will probably talk more about those in coming episodes, I'm assuming, when we get closer to opening.
Yeah.
But we have the Buckeye Blast and Area 5.
Area 5.
Good matches. I'll be at both of them.
Yes, sir.
I guess that's all I've got for today. So we need to close the show out. Khory, is there anyone in the chat still? There's 7 people in the chat on YouTube. I can't see the number necessarily on Rumble.
3 people on Rumble.
Awesome.
I'm guessing one of them's me and one of them's you. So there's one person on Rumble.
It's probably you and Brian. But Brian, well, no, if Brian's driving home, he's not watching.
But we'll kick it off with my people who are supporting me. We've got Shield Manufacturing. I've added these lovely new banners to my backdrop.
And Brian can't give you crap about being in the prison basement anymore.
Not to give me crap about being in the prison basement anymore. We've got Hunter's HD Gold and Victor's Legacy. I don't know if anybody saw it, and unfortunately I don't have it handy, but if you check out my personal social media, you've got a beautiful new rifle that I've got coming that I'm actually picking up tomorrow, and I'll probably shoot this weekend at Cardinal. So, and then
what? You're going to shoot the match?
I'm going to shoot the match.
Bullshit.
I'm going to shoot some stages because I've got ammo. So, shout out to Excalibur Ammunition. They gave me some dummy, not some dummy, but some tester rounds to shoot, and I'm really liking them so far. So I'm going to shoot them in a match this weekend, and it'll be a good time. Alex, what about your sponsors?
We call them partners here, but at least they're my partners. I'm really excited, though. I'll make mention. That also your new build that was painted by Victor's Legacy looks fantastic.
Thank you.
My partners, we got Go Fast Don't Suck, Hunter's HD Gold, Dominate Defense, DivTech. I did not see Mr. Nathan Dively in the chat this night. I'm sorry about that. Tony and Jackie of Laugh and Load, who did not go to Nationals because they were sick. John Royer of Outdoor Dynamics. He is hosting Khory Shield for the Falling Steel World Series here next weekend, and I need to send out some certs tomorrow because I haven't done that yet. Summit City Bullets, because that's what I do. I send out certs for Summit City Bullets. Don't talk to me about sponsorship, though, because run that through Tony. I just print the certs and send them where they need to go. Range Panda, or RPG2. Great people. Eric Steiner, Gianni Giordano. They were at Nationals. They were kicking butt. Chile Custom Gunworks is awesome with their all their firearms parts for 2011. So if you want to get a gun built out, use Chile Custom Gunworks parts. My buddy Tom Castro Shooting Academy coming in fourth. Great coach of mine. I mean, on the Insider Circle, I'm a master member there now. So he's really going to tell me that I suck, and because he's a friend and I pay him money. So that's usually how it goes. And I can't forget my buddy Bobby Ivester, 2 Alpha Apparel. I'm wearing their hoodie and their hat. This is the new hat they sent me the other day. I wear this hoodie because it's my favorite. So
I've got one more shout out that I forgot to add. Barbecue takes care of us.
Oh, that's right. We didn't even talk about Bobby Q and his breakfast burritos, but he
Bobby
is a supporter of Team FML.
Yeah, he's also a supporter of Khory Cats Incorporated.
But not Khory Cats Incorporated Waistline.
Oh yeah, wants the light waistline bigger. I mean, Bobby Q's breakfast burritos. I had those. I don't know, 5 days last week, and then obviously lunch every day plus dinner twice. So Bobby Q knows how to take care of the match staff. That's for sure.
That is for sure. So I guess a couple last notes. Follow us on social media, 2 Alpha News on Facebook and Instagram. Giveaways will be coming, guys, so don't be afraid to watch us. For everyone who's still in the chat, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. I can't think of anything else. Oh, we can't forget, I'll plug Brian Conley right at the very end and we'll punch this off. Make sure to check them out. They're 3 awesome product lines: Hunter's HD Gold, Hunter's HD Ruby, and Active Blue. So go check them out.
If you've not tried Active Blue and see either of us at a match, feel free to come and grab us. We would love to show off our new glasses. And at the end of the day, any of his lenses that you want to see, we've got a pair that you can, at bare minimum, try on. If not, shoot with the whole match.
Mine, not so much because I wear a prescription, but someone is in the comments. Somebody just talked. Oh, Brian Baller Dawson. Great show, guys. Thank you, Brian. I will see you when I see you, brother. Hopefully it's sooner than later. That's for sure. But Khory.
Perfect. Do this thing. Alex, get out and do the things.
Yes, get out and do the things. I'll see you on the next one, everybody.